Catch it. Yeah, he can do it.
Ended it right off the bat. Didn't wait around, didn't make the game. Went out right away, shut his down, cut the Giants' head off, and it was over with. Let's go out first play. Whoever gets the ball first, offense. We go down, we score. We put an all-out assault. All-out assault, all right? Defense, you get the ball back, we go down and score. Nice stop, but we go down and score. We score. We score. It's not a one-point victory. We shut down. We're going by 35 and we can party all day in that. We're going up by 35 and we're having a show today. Special teams, you play your whether you're blocking, whether you're snapping the ball, it's your best. To non-stop assault and be smarter than them. Every time you see something, you know something's not right. We'll shut them down on every trick play. We end these today.
Welcome back to the St. Louis Rams NFL Head Coach 09 franchise. And today we are going to see the NFL debut of a very polarizing college football icon. The Rams are off to a surprising 2-0 start under first-year head coach Rich Gannon as we get ready to kick off our divisional play against the Seattle Seahawks. In last week's victory over the New York Giants, we suffered a few injuries such as left tackle Orlando Pace, but the biggest news was Marc Bulger. Now, it isn't too serious, but he will be missing this week's game against the Seattle Seahawks. Luke McCown finished the game against the Giants, and he was very adequate in a relief role. But for this week's game, let's have some fun. Let's break out one of the greatest college football quarterbacks ever to play the game, and a guy who had a great preseason for us. We're giving Colt Brennan the reins this week against Seattle. Now, this is certainly not the easiest task to give a rookie quarterback in their debut. A division rival game in one of the toughest, if not the toughest place to play in Quest Field. But this is a great opportunity to get the rookie's feet wet and give him an early taste of some NFL action. We have some staff development points to spend as we upgrade Rich Gannon's performance to level 2, Al Saunders' team chemistry to level 3, Jim Haslett's play calling to level 3, Henry Eller's performance to level 2, and our GM's rookie scouting defensive backs to level 2, as I have a feeling that will be a big position of need that we have to address in next year's draft. But let's head up to the Northwest as first place in the NFC West is on the line early in this 2008 season. Can the Rams get to 3-0 for the first time since their 2001 Super Bowl run?
Bring out the captains.
Seahawks get the ball first as Hasselbeck drops back and fires one to his man, but he gets clobbered by the safety Otagwe. Second down, Seahawks come back to pass as Suggs almost gets to Hasselbeck, but he gets it off in time and the Seahawks pick up a first down. Want to see more out of this D-line that we invested so much in this offseason. So far, it really only seems that Chris Long has been the only contributor with a little bit of Adam Carricker. But 3rd and 8 now as Hasselbeck drops back and throws a nice hole shot to his man on the sideline, and the Hawks move the sticks once more. Early injury news for our Rams defense as well, as Tano Samoa will miss the rest of this game with a leg injury. He has a history of injuries, and he's already missed a lot of time early in this season. I really doubt he has much of a future with us at this point with how unreliable he's been. Meanwhile, the Seahawks get the ground game going as Maurice gashes us for a first. The Seahawks did draft Felix Jones in the first round, but we won't be seeing him today as he is out with an injury, as we will instead see the Oregon second-round pick from 2002 get the carries in Morris. 2nd and 4, and this time the D-line makes a nice play in the backfield as rookie Calais Campbell blows it up to set up a 3rd down. 3rd and a long 7 now. Let's at least force the field goal here. Hasselbeck drops back, and there is a man possessed coming off the edge as he gets in Hasselbeck's face. And is that a live ball? No, refs blow it dead, and we're forced a field goal attempt. But check out outside linebacker Landon Johnson, who comes in for relief of Tano Samoa. He just rips through 2 blockers on his way to the quarterback to make the play. Now that is how you make a run for the starting spot right there. Seahawks settle for the field goal, and it's a quick 3-0 game in Seattle. But here we go, everyone, the moment we've all been waiting for. Colt Brennan makes his NFL debut. It took Colt 3 years to get over 14,000 passing yards, while everybody else ahead of him took at least 4 years. And guys like Dylan Gabriel and Sam Hartman needed 6 years to achieve that. So yeah, no doubt one of the greatest college quarterbacks to play the game. But can Rich Gannon mold him into a legit NFL quarterback? Well, huge milestone for Colt today, but we start off his debut with a false start from one of our linemen. Not how you want to start the drive there. 1st and 15, and the run game will be vital to get our QB going, as Jackson gets a toss and lays the hammer down, but is only able to gain a yard. 2nd and 14, as Colt attempts his first NFL pass completed to tight end Randy McMichael, but only a gain of 3. That flat route is always open on that play, but he just runs out every goddamn time. So 3rd and 11, what a tough spot for the rookie, as the 12th man in Quest Field is on their feet. Deshaun Jackson in the backfield, he just goes out in motion. Colt takes a snap, and he has a great protection. He just looks to air it out, and it's snagged by the rookie, Deshaun Jackson. Taken down on the Seattle side of the field, and it's the rookie-to-rookie connection to get the ball moving for this Rams offense. Great play by Colt, and that was something we saw all preseason. Him just bailing out the offense on 3rd and long plays. Can't live off of that, though. We've got to get things going on the early downs. Brian Leonard gets involved in the backfield as he picks up a few to make it 3rd and short. Try to play it safe and pick up the first on the ground, but Jackson gets blown up in the backfield. And Colt's first drive will have to just settle for 3, as we send Matt Prater out, who hit a 55-yarder in last week's game against the Giants. And he hits it with no problem here. He's been a great contributor so far. Definitely somebody I can see getting a contract extension and being our future kicker in St. Louis. Defense back out now as Hasselbeck drops back with no pressure, and he's able to hit his man for an easy 1st down. Next play, Hawks go back to the run, and it's early season MVP Carlos Dansby, who comes flying in for the loss. Some great football being played out of Dansby early so far this season. However, the secondary is a different story, and it's another big 1st down. I mean, our corners really need to bump these guys to the line and stop giving them such easy free releases every time. Next play, same story. Easy drop back for Hasselbeck, and Bobby Ingram picks up another 1st down. Seahawks knocking at the door again. 2nd and 10 now as finally someone on the D-line steps up. 2007 first-round pick Adam Carricker gets home for the sack. Need to see a lot more of that if we want to succeed this season. 3rd and long as Hasselbeck looks for the end zone, but way out of his receiver's reach, and Hawks are forced to settle for the field goal again. However, the deranged lunatic Josh Brown misses this one wide right, and we stay at a tie ball game early in Quest Field. Got to get this run game going for Colt to help set up the pass, as Steven Jackson takes the toss outside for a nice pickup. But next play, Brian Leonard gets stuffed on the fullback dive, and that is how we end the 1st quarter of this very tight divisional game, 3-all. 3rd and 5 as Colts drops back to pass. Pocket starts to collapse as the pass is batted down the line. Gives a little bouncing around, but incomplete, and the Rams drive gets nothing going. Got to capitalize on the Hawks' empty drives because they can show they can throw it on our secondary with ease so far, with another big 1st down here. Maurice Morris gets it going on the ground again, but he loses the ball. Ball is out, and the Rams recover. But Mike Holmgren is very quick to challenge this one. And it's a very clear that the runner's elbow is down. And this one is overturned with ease. 3rd and inches as Hasselbeck goes for the play action, and it has our backers fooled. 1st down for the Hawks as they have been moving it on our defense all day with ease. Next play, and this Seahawks offense is just playing 7-on-7s right now in our defense. And it all gets capped off by this insane one-handed snag by the rookie Martellus Bennett, as the first touchdown of the day is scored. So now down a touchdown early in this game, as we haven't seen a whole much from Colt Brennan in his NFL debut, outside of the one nice play to Deshaun Jackson. But speaking of Deshaun Jackson, here he goes with a nice return here, as he puts a move on Matt Hasselbeck, who decides he wants to run out on kickoff today. Very interesting move by head coach Mike Holmgren on that one. But can we capitalize off the nice return, as we were already in a 2nd and long, as Steven Jackson just can't find a gap on the defense. Colt's set to take the shotgun snap on 3rd down, and Seattle's cornerback's blitzing comes in free, and he gets a clear shot on Colt. Ball is out, but luckily somehow this is not ruled a fumble. Big break for our Rams, but it's the punt team once again, as no running game is not helping this passing game right now. Defense can't afford to let the lead grow, as Hasselbeck drops back on 2nd down and throws a high one that sends his man flying. 3rd and 10, Hasselbeck drops back and looks for the deep pass once again, and it's nearly intercepted by the safety Otagwe, and the Rams D gets off the field. Much needed there. So last few drives have stalled out for the Rams. Can this Colt Brennan-led offense finally get something going? Steven Jackson gets the ball handed off on 1st down. It looks like a lot better for our run game as he picks up the first. Next play, let's go right back to the well as Jackson gets the toss outside and chugs down for another 1st down as we get on the Seahawks side of the field. Try to get our running back duo going with Leonard, who plunges for a few yards. And on 2nd down, the cornerback blitz comes home again for Seattle as they get after Colt for the sack. Under 4 minutes left now. Really need to tie this thing up before half. Jackson goes out in motion as Colt takes the snap, sidesteps the pressure and slings it out to the sideline as Dante Stallworth gets up the sideline for a nice 1st down. Also has a little something to say to the Seattle secondary. Big 1st down to keep this drive alive. I formation for the Rams as we hand it off to Steven Jackson on the stretch play, and here we go. That's what we love to see out of the run game. Another 1st down picked up by the Rams, and we're inside the 10. 2-minute warning now as Colt drops back looking for his first NFL touchdown. Throws it to the back post and it's batted down. Lucky not to be picked off there. Alright, 3rd and goal now. Under 2 minutes left. Can we tie this one back up? Brandon Williams in motion as Colt takes the snap. Fakes the read and throws it to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown Rams, and ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Colt Brennan's first NFL career touchdown pass in the regular season. What a ball by Colt. And we are an extra point away from tying this game up before the half. Colt put the perfect amount of touch on this one as he puts it only where Brandon Williams could catch it, up and away from the safety. Now that's an NFL throw if I've ever seen one. But with 1 minute and 49 seconds left, Seahawks do have time to do something here, as all game they've been moving on our defense. Hasselbeck with a drop back as he delivers one to the sideline for a 1st down, and the Hawks go into their no huddle. Hasselbeck dropping back again and delivers an almost identical ball to his man for another 1st down. And here we go, the injuries continuing to pile up as our starting tight end Randy McMichael will miss the rest of this game with a leg injury. So backup Ben Utek will take over at tight end, as well as our 7th round pick Kellen Davis. Seattle creeping closer and closer now to the end zone as a draw play gets called and completely catches off our guard, and Maurice has himself a touchdown. And this is right back to a 7-point lead for the Seahawks. Any momentum that was built up from the Colt touchdown has now been diminished thanks to that drive by Hasselbeck and the Seahawks. Alright, 53 seconds left with the rookie QB. Do we just run out the clock and just see if we can get something going? Colt takes the snap and fakes the read, looking for his man Deshaun Jackson over the middle, and it's picked off. Seattle was ready to jump that one, and this very well could cost us heading into the half, as now the Seahawks have an opportunity to make this a 14-point game going into the half. Tried to stay aggressive here, but probably should have just let this one go, as we do get the ball back in the second half. Especially with how easily this Seahawks offense has been moving the ball on us, with a 1st down is picked up and Rich Gannon is turning his back to the defense. He can't even watch this kind of play from his D. Just a play later, Hasselbeck hits his man for the touchdown, and all of a sudden we're at a 14-point deficit heading into the half. Devastating stuff. Just a minute ago, this was a tie ball game. And now here we are wondering what the hell just happened. Luckily, we have Deshaun on special teams as he takes it to midfield after being taken down by the lunatic Josh Brown. 8 seconds left now, down 14 at midfield. Might as well see if we can make a play here. Deshaun goes out in motion. Colt takes a snap, has a nice pocket, delivers one deep, and it's caught by Stallworth. Stallworth stays in bounds, and he is off for 6. 1 second left in the half, and that almost makes up for the interception by Colt earlier. Back to a 7-point game now, and what an absolute wild 2 minutes we just had to finish this half. 2 touchdowns for Colt in the first half, and we are right in this ball game. We really need this defense to step up, as well as our running game, to have a shot in this one. We get the ball to start the second half, but this run game is right back to being bottled up. Jackson gets the first 2 carries with nothing to show for, and back to a 3rd and long for Colt. Plenty of time in the pocket as Colt looks deep downfield to his man, and Deshaun Jackson pulls it down again. Big first down to get the drive going. The rookie-to-rookie connection is starting to show some flair here. A few plays later, Colt fakes the handoff and slings one over to the middle to who else but Deshaun Jackson. Takes a big hit but hangs on as Colt and this Rams offense is getting something going to start this half. Trying to hit a similar deep shot later, but Seattle's D nearly jumps this one again. However, they're not ready for this one, as Colt drops one over to the linebacker's head and Deshaun Jackson again picks up the first down. However, the run game doesn't show up near the goal line, as Colt has to try and get this one done with a short field but can't connect. And after a drive that saw Deshaun Jackson take over, we're forced to settle for the field goal and make this a 4-point game. Seattle on offense looking to move it on us again like they've had all day. Up the middle goes Maurice, and ball is out. Chris Long and his Budweiser gut falls on it, and we've got the ball right back. No way he was down this time, and that is 100% a live ball. We've got the ball right back on Seattle's 35. Huge break for this Rams team. Staying true to the run game as Jackson picks up a few on first down, but right back into a 3rd down situation. As Colt tries to get it off quick, but Brandon can't reel it in as he gets hit. So after a big turnover, we can only settle for another field goal as Prater makes this a 1-point game. We get the big break we needed, but don't really capitalize off of it, as now Seattle's offense comes back out looking to get something going as they've been stalling out so far in this second half. Second down pass really goes nowhere. And on 3rd down, Hasselbeck throws way off to his receiver who tries to dig it up but can't get it. And now this Rams D is having a really good 3rd quarter. Another forced punt. Right back to the run game as it's the rookie from West Virginia, Steve Slayton, checking in and getting a real nice pickup on first down. Brian Leonard picks up the first a play later, and that closes up this 3rd quarter with a very tense 1-point game in Quest Field for Colt Brennan's NFL debut. Second down as Colt takes a deep drop back, and it's our left side pass protection that breaks down as Colt's pass gets batted down at the line. 3rd and 8 as Colt sits back in the pocket with time, looking down the middle to his man Deshaun, who isn't able to hold on. That connection has been there all day, and that would have set us up inside the 10, but Jackson just wasn't able to hold on to it. Once again, Matt Prater gets sent out for the field goal, and this time it's for the lead, as he has been automatic all day today. Really tough to be having to keep settling for field goals, though. Really need to be putting up 6 on the road in Seattle. Hopefully this defense can hold, as they have been looking much better so far in this half, except for right here, as Hasselbeck hits his man for a first down, and that's exactly what we saw in the first half of our defense. And here comes the Seahawks offense once again, pounding the rock with Maurice Morris for a good gain, then picking up the first down a play later. 2nd and 5 as Hasselbeck goes for the handoff, but I don't know what happened here. Miscommunication, and Carlos Dansby lays him out. Sets up a big 3rd down here in the 4th quarter. 3rd and 8 now as the Seahawks do their best Colt Brennan and Deshaun Jackson impression as Hasselbeck finds his man over the middle for a big first down to keep the drive alive. Just a few plays later, and this is almost identical to the play earlier in the game, as it's Martellus Bennett again with the one-handed snag in the end zone. Touchdown Seattle, as they retake the lead, and time is starting to wind down the fourth quarter. Seattle does indeed go for the 2-point conversion to make it a 6-point game, as Hasselbeck drops back and tries for the back of the end zone for the high throw to his receiver. Almost gets him killed, and it's no good. 4-point game here in Quest Field. Under 7 minutes to go here, as we're starting to be forced to take the training wheels off of Colt a bit here and get a little more pass heavy. But a near interception on 2nd down and again on 3rd down lead to a punt. Just a really tough spot for the rookie right now. Seattle with the ball back, and their run game gets going again as Maurice Morris picks up the first. But a few plays later, it's a huge 3rd down opportunity for our Rams to at least settle for a field goal here, as Hasselbeck drops back and tries to dump it off short, and it's not even reeled in. Huge stop on 3rd down and almost 4 minutes left. And better yet, the Seahawks don't even bother sending out the lunatic Josh Brown for the field goal, as they instead try to pin us deep, but they can't even do that right as the ball goes out of the end zone for a touchback. So do we have some Colt magic in his NFL debut? First down as Colt takes a snap and looks deep for his man Stallworth, but it's batted down by the safety. Forced to go pass heavy now this late in the game, as Colt finds Stallworth in the flat, who was able to get a nice pickup down the sideline again for a first. A few plays later, I'm back on a 3rd down with clock ticking down into 3.5 minutes. Colt tries to get it off quickly to Stallworth, but this time Deion Grant is reading this one all the way and jumps it. Interception Seattle, and that very well could be the ball game. Tough break for the rookie in his NFL debut, but those are the throws you're going to learn from that you cannot make against an NFL talented secondary. Seattle with the ball is able to kill some clock, but a holding penalty puts them in a 3rd and long as they just conceive with the run. And on 4th down, they send out the sociopath Josh Brown for the field goal, who misses this one. Can't tell if they hit the upright or not, but either way, we still have a chance in this one with just over 2 minutes left. We saw Colt make 2 amazing game-winning drives in the preseason, and now here is his chance to do it in a real NFL game in the regular season. Looking deep on first, but it isn't there. Another near pick for the Seattle D. 2nd down, the protection doesn't hold up for Colt as he gets taken down for the sack, and we're almost immediately in a 3rd and long situation at the 2-minute warning. 3rd and 15 as Colt takes a snap. Looking downfield, and it's caught by the vet Torrey Holt, and just like that, the chains are moving again. But no timeouts, we gotta move quick. A play later, Colt finds his man again, that's Deshaun Jackson, and now we're inside the 20 just like that. Can the Rainbow Warrior legend pull this one off in his NFL debut? Next play, Colt goes with the choice handoff, looking to catch the Hawks off guard, but they're not fooled. 2nd down now as the clock is ticking. Colt can't find anyone downfield as he gets hit, and the ball is out. Ball is out, but the Rams fall on it. What a near disaster. Now 3rd down with the clock under 20 seconds. No timeouts as Colt takes a snap, looking downfield for the kill shot, but it's off. Seahawks were ready for it, and now with 9 seconds left, here is your ball game. Have to essentially just call a play here that sends everyone to the end zone. Maybe it falls into the hands of one of our guys. 4th down, and here we go. Colt takes the shotgun snap and quickly tries to get it to Torrey Holt in the post, but is knocked incomplete. Ball game. Wanted to see more of a Hail Mary type throw in that one, but what are you going to do? Tough one to execute regardless. So no storybook ending for Colt Brennan in his NFL debut in what was a pretty up and down game. But regardless, he put this Rams team in a position to win late in the game. Just weren't able to make 1 or 2 more plays. And this D really needed to make a few more stops. Regardless though, that was fun to see Colt out there and make some plays. I'm hoping for a bright future for him in St. Louis. The Buffalo Bills are up next for our 2-1 Rams as we start the following week with some injury news. The bully Richie Incognito will miss the rest of the regular season with an ACL and PCL tear, so going to go ahead and place him on the IR. And the linebacker Tano Samoa, with his second high ankle sprain of the season, is out for 4 to 5 weeks. With Richie on the IR, we'll add another offensive lineman to the roster. Signed Chris Colmer, who we did have on the preseason, but was one of our final roster cuts. Definitely one thing this game was missing was the practice squad. Would have been nice to have some guys waiting in the wing to bring up, certainly for situations like this, but it is what it is. We get another big injury blow though, as tight end Randy McMichael also tears his ACL and PCL. So 2 players get added to the IR list this week. Of course, need to now add some depth at tight end, so we got a little creative here and signed J.R. LeBeau out of the D3 school in New Jersey, Rowan. Pretty decent set of skills here, and at 6'4", he could make a decent transition to tight end, which he comes in at a very respectable 70 overall. Always move positions on guys in this game. You could be very surprised at what spots guys are really good at. Week 4 brings the Buffalo Bills as Marc Bulger makes his return to the starting quarterback role. Opening kickoff, and the Bills get a decent return that gets tacked on even more thanks to a face mask penalty. Bills already at midfield, and we get our first look at Marshawn Lynch, who picks up 9 on his first carry. Next play, Trent Edwards drops back and looks for Marshawn on the wheel route and hits him for a nice first. However, the Bills' drive stalls out after Chris Henry can't keep his feet in bounds for the first. And the Bills just don't trust their kicker in the dome apparently, instead settle for the punt, so nothing doing early after great opening field position for the Bills. So Bulger back under center as he returns from his leg injury, and you know he wants to prove himself after the Colt Brennan hype. And now how about this to start it off? Play action, quick hit over the middle to Brandon Williams, who shrugs out a would-be tackler, and he takes this one to the house. Wow, big play for Brandon Williams, who is in a pretty crowded wide receiver room right now, and he tries to stand out with plays like that. Great job. That big play becomes the start of what is going to be a long day for the Buffalo Bills. Marshawn gets blown up in the backfield after a toss attempt, and then Trent tries his best to just hand us the ball as rookie Calais Campbell drops an interception. Rams with the ball back on 3rd down as Marc Bulger sits back and finds his man for a nice first down to keep the chains moving. Next play, Steven Jackson gets in on the fun as the run game finally looks to blow up, as what was supposed to be our bread and butter for this offense, but has been very disappointing so far this season. Brian Leonard gets close to the goal line as the first quarter already wraps up just like that. 3rd and goal as Marc Bulger sits back in the pocket with absolutely no pressure from the Bills and finally hits Brandon Williams in the end zone for his second TD of the game. Bills with the ball back, move a little bit on 3rd, but my goodness, Trent Edwards is trying his best to throw to our defense today. And that is another punt for the Bills. Our offense heads back out, looking to pile it on now and make this a 21-point game, as Bulger finds his man Torrey Holt for the first. But on 3rd and 9, Bulger goes back to Torrey Holt, who isn't able to pull it down, and punts get traded here in the second quarter. Bills have got to get something going here, as they are now down 2 scores early. But this certainly will help as Marshawn gets a nice gain on 1st down. And just a few plays later, Trent Edwards lets one fly, as this time he doesn't try to throw to our secondary, instead hits his receiver deep down to our own 10. Then the Bills make the smart decision and hand it off to the Golden Bear, who pounds his way in for 6, and just like that, we've got a ball game in the Edward Jones Dome. Bulger and the Rams offense back out, as Brian Leonard gets himself another nice gain to pick up the first. Then a few plays later, Bulger finds the rookie out of Kentucky, Stevie Johnson, for a big pickup, as Bulger has been throwing very efficiently so far in his return. Under 2 minutes left now as Brian Leonard is just short of the first down on 3rd. But with 4th and inches on the Bills' side of the ball, it's a no-brainer to hand it right back to Leonard, who picks up the first. But nothing to show for it at the fresh set of downs as Prater is now sent back out for the field goal, and we get to a 10-point lead winding down the half. And if the injuries haven't been piling enough in this episode, we get another injury alert, as Deshaun Jackson will miss the rest of this game with a leg injury. Have to hope that this isn't serious, as the rookie is having a very impressive season so far. 17-7 at the half, and this Bills team is in for a long second half. Second and long as the Rams start off the second half with the ball as Bulger hits Dante Stallworth for a first down that brings him close to midfield. Just a few plays later, Rich Gannon busts out the bag of tricks as the flea flicker not only gets called but works to perfection as Bulger finds Stallworth again to get inside the 10. Just beautiful execution from this Rams offense, and that's the type of explosive plays you just love to see. First and goal as Jackson tries to ram his way into the end zone but is stopped short. And yet again, another impact player is hurt. Right tackle and former first rounder Alex Barron is out for this game. So this offense is really going to hurt just about everywhere right now. But Brian Leonard gets the job done and finishes the drive with 6, as our Rams are starting to pull away now. Incognito on the IR this week, as well as Randy McMichael. And now Deshaun Jackson and Alex Barron are hurt. And while we check the injury report, our defense jumps Trent Edwards' pass and it's picked off. About time that happened, as Trent was desperately trying to give us interceptions all day. And we finally capitalize. Short field now, let's step on the Bills' throats. Steven Jackson pounds the rock some more in this defense as he gets 2 nice gains in a row for our running game. 3rd and 5 now as the Buckeye Antonio Pittman goes out in motion. Bulger drops back with plenty of time and looks for his running back Pittman for not only snags it, but barrels his way in for 6. Another touchdown for this Rams offense, and the Bills just have no answers right now. With the success we've had in this game so far, our D-line has been very quiet until Chris Long just rips right by the right tackle and is all over Trent Edwards for the sack. And on 3rd down, it's our free agent acquisition Terrell Suggs who comes off the edge for the sack as the 3rd quarter concludes in what has been the Rams' day all day today. Our Rams offense is moving the ball once more as Brian Leonard keeps the run game going, which sets up a nice Bulger play action to the back of the end zone where Torrey Holt is wide open for 6. That basically seals this one up. And honestly, we're not going to spend any more time with this blowout. The backups come in, and while the Bills do score 13 garbage time touchdowns, it doesn't matter. This one was never in doubt. Bulger puts up a near perfect passing rating as he tosses 4 touchdowns. The run game finally comes to life as Steven Jackson and Brian Leonard combine for over 130 rushing yards. And this defense just wasn't giving up any big plays to the hapless Bills offense. So we can safely say that we are not in the bad tier of a team like the Buffalo Bills. But this schedule will get harder as we continue. With that win, we complete our owner's goal of winning the first 3 out of 4 games. But we still have an approval rating of just below 50. Week 5 comes in with our very, very early bye week, as we'll quickly go through some housekeeping during this week. Ty Law and Orlando Pace are both banged up, but they won't miss any time thanks to the bye week. However, our right tackle Alex Barron suffered torn quadriceps against the Bills, so yet another player being added to the IR in this one. George Foster, who we signed in the preseason, will have to anchor at right tackle with Barron on the IR. This offensive line will definitely need to be rehauled this offseason. I could definitely see that. Let's take a quick look at the standings as the Seahawks sit at the first place in the NFC West, thanks to their win in our head-to-head battle. A couple undefeated teams left as we surprisingly see the Bucs at 4-0, while we sit in 9th overall in the power rankings thanks to our solid start so far. Brandon Marshall brings in another Player of the Week honors, and Joey Harrington for the 49ers brings in his 2nd Player of the Week honors, throwing for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Can't wait for that first Niners game, man.
I'm Adam Schefter of NFL Network, and here's your draft update for the month of September. It seems like the entire nation is talking about Oklahoma State's Ozzie Jones. The junior running back reminds fans so much of Hall of Famer Barry Sanders, it's scary. His 178.4 rushing yard average has helped get the Cowboys off to a surprising 4-0 start and a number 11 ranking. I'm anxious to see where he's drafted in April. Another team off to a great start is Penn State. Nittany Lion running back A.J. Bishop has looked good so far, finishing September as the nation's leading rusher. The only knock on this kid is ball security. His fumble last week almost cost them the game. One last surprise before I go. The UCF Golden Knights have started out 3-1 thanks in part to the player projected top 5 pick Jamarcus Boone. Remember that name. Some scouts think he could be a Hall of Famer someday.
We have our first contract decision on Steven Jackson, as he is ready to talk about an extension. And if I remember correctly, during the season, this is really the only time you can extend players. If you don't do that, you don't really get an option after the regular season if you try to put it off. But at 25 years old and coming off a game where he shows he can be the bell cow of this offense, I am definitely ready to continue to build around him and keep the run game as an identity for this offense. We have a long back and forth with Jackson and his representatives, but at the final buzzer, we are able to agree on a $52 million deal with $10 million bonus. Now, that does put us in the red for next season, but right now I'm not too concerned. Looking at this roster, I see a lot of overpaid veterans that we could walk away from. Leonard Little being one of them, as he has been buried in the depth chart behind Suggs and Chris Long. And at 31 years old with an 82 overall, we're actually going to add him to the trade block and see if there's a team out there looking for his services as a little bit, maybe a rental for a team looking as that last playoff push. Brandon Williams isn't costing us anything right now, but he's not going to be re-signed. He has been productive, but he basically has the same skill sets as the rest of our wide receiver room. We'll add him to the trade block, because I'm sure there's definitely a team out there interested in the 24-year-old shifty receiver. Before we end this episode of our Week 6 matchup with the Redskins, we're going to be making a change at safety, as Brandon Merriweather will get the start as strong safety over Mike Doss. Need to see more plays out of the secondary, and Brandon's 40 catch might be able to get us a few more interceptions back there. So let's go ahead and finish this episode off with a visit to Landover, Maryland, as we take on Washington at FedEx Field. Gorgeous day in an ugly stadium, as Washington is another pretty weak roster. Jason Campbell under center for the offense, and outside of Clinton Portis, there really isn't any playmakers on this offense. Need to hone in on their run game, as Clinton gets a nice carry to start off this game. But on 3rd and short, our D-line stands tall, and the Skins are forced to punt right away. Bulger and the offense coming out after an easy win against the Bills, and it's the $52 million man Steven Jackson to start the drive with a great carry for the first. Then it's Brian Leonard with the 1-2 punch that I wanted to see when we took over this Rams team. Both guys have yet to skip a beat after their great performances against the Bills. This allows our passing game to open up as Bulger finds Torrey Holt for the first, and this offense is humming immediately to start this game. Steve Slayton even gets in on the action. He picks up the first. However, the drive stalls out as we head into a defining moment on 4th down. But this early in the game, there's just no reason to go for it right now. Let's just take the 3 and see if our defense can build off the momentum from the last drive. And that's exactly what they do, as Chris Long sweeps the leg on Jason Campbell and picks up a sack. Then on 3rd down, Jason Campbell has a bit of happy feet, throws off balance, and that's way over the receiver's head, and this Rams D forces another punt. Bulger back out now, but after a holding penalty was called, this drive looked like it was going to stall out on 3rd and long. But Bulger throws a great strike to the rookie Steven Johnson, who stays in bounds and keeps this drive alive. 2nd and long as Bulger fakes the handoff and throws one to the sideline as Torrey Holt hauls it in with the butterfly net and keeps this Rams offense moving. Down to the goal line as Leonard gets the handoff and has to dance around the edge as he's able to just plunge in for 6. And we have ourselves a 10-point game heading into the second quarter. The Redskins offense hasn't been doing a whole lot today, but Campbell is able to let one fly here as he connects with his receiver for a huge first down here. Clinton Portis out of the U shows how explosive he can be as he breaks off for a huge gain on our defense. All setting up Jason Campbell dropping back and delivering a great ball over the middle for 6, as Washington desperately needed that and get that deficit back to 3. But we are in for a treat in this game as we get to see 2 of the best backs in the league matching blow for blow as Steven Jackson churns out a big first down. But it's all for naught as the drive stalls out and Bulger nearly throws a pick for the safety. A few plays later, Campbell keeps the ball moving through the air as he's had a few impressive throws early in this one actually. But on 3rd and short, Campbell hands it off to Portis as Will Witherspoon comes screaming in to blow this one up and force the field goal attempt as Sean Schweischem attempts a long 48-yarder that comes up short. Great field position for Bulger in this Rams offense as we continue to see him move the sticks for this offense. As much as I am on the Colt Brennan hype train, I just can't bench Bulger if he gives us no reason to. And so far he's been doing really well in these last 2 starts. Let's see if he can keep this up. Especially when he is throwing darts to the back of the end zone like this one. Beautiful ball to Brandon Williams as he somersaults for 6. With all the injuries this offensive line has been facing, they've been really holding up well against the Bills and the Redskins. They just haven't been getting any pressure on us the last 2 games. Washington looking to get something going here before the half as they find themselves down 10, and Campbell continues to deliver some nice passes here. But a holding penalty puts him in a 2nd and long as Campbell's pass is way off. But more injury news arrives as now it's on the defensive side of the ball, as Adam Carricker is set to miss the rest of this game. Huge blow to the D-line as him and Chris Long have been really productive together on the side of the line. But we all know what a head injury means. Hopefully he won't be out for long. Washington doesn't even bother settling for the long field goal. I guess after what they saw from Sean Schweischem, they're not even going to try it. So now 17-7 is your half. Rams set to get the ball back as Rich Gannon always loves to start the ball in the second half. And check this one out, everyone. Deshaun Jackson with his first kick return touchdown in his NFL career. All the way to the house, and that wrinkle in his game is exactly why we traded back up in the 2nd round for him. He is paying off handsomely so far. Jason Campbell, though, does have an answer, however, as he sits back in the pocket and finds his man wide open behind our secondary, and nobody is catching him. Touchdown Washington, and it goes right back to a 10-point game just like that. Steven Jackson still getting it done on the ground, though, and here in the second half as he breaks off for another big game. But the drive stalls out as we send Prater out to attempt the field goal, but surprisingly misses this one. Matt Prater has been pretty automatic all year so far, so pretty surprising to see him miss this very makeable field goal. 24-14 remains the score here in the 3rd quarter. However, our defense forces Washington to an easy 3-and-out, and they punt it right back to us. But once again, the injuries continue to pile up on our playmakers. This time it's defensive end Terrell Suggs who will miss the rest of this game. We can only hope these injuries aren't long-term, but I don't think there is any doubt that our first move in the offseason is going to be firing our head trainer for this absolute debacle. Deshaun Jackson gets himself involved in the passing game as he picks up the first down as we head into the 4th quarter, in what is still a 10-point lead. 4th and 1, and Rich is going to go for it here and try and step on Washington's throat. But Brian Leonard gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. That sets up Washington with great field position. And Campbell wastes no time. He is looking deep again as he connects for another big game. And they are on the Rams 31 just like that. 3rd and goal now as Campbell drops back with no pressure yet again and delivers a strike to his tight end Chris Cooley as the crowd rumbles Cooley in the stands. And we now have a 3-point game as the clock ticks down in the 4th quarter. Rams offense back out as we run into a quick 3rd down situation. Bulger is going to hand off the jet sweep here to Deshaun, who cuts it back and fights off a defender. And Deshaun Jackson is off. Are you kidding me? First down Rams, and he has done it all today. Literally done it all today. Even getting it done on the ground. What a breakout game for the rookie out of Cal. Under 7 minutes left now in this fourth quarter as we're going to get back to pounding the rock on this Washington's D, as Steven Jackson picks up big back-to-back first downs here to get us in striking distance. Third down now as we look to extend this lead and make it a 2-score game. Bulger drops back and tries to get it to Holt, who can't bring it in, and we're forced to settle for the field goal. So after an absolute cakewalk of the Bills last week, this one is not going to come so easy. It's just a 6-point game with under 3 minutes left. And this certainly won't make things any easier as Washington takes this kickoff all the way down the midfield, as it's the kicker Matt Prater who has to come in with a touchdown-saving tackle. Great field position for Jason Campbell in this Redskins offense. Jason Campbell tries to go with the play action though, but Chris Long is all over this one. And it's 3rd and 10 at midfield. 3rd and 10 now as Campbell sits back and delivers one over the middle to his receiver for the first, and we head into the 2-minute warning. Next play, Campbell finds his man again to keep the chains moving. But on 3rd and 9, Campbell sits back and is looking for the kill shot as OJ Atogwe drops the game-sealing interception. Oh, man. So here we go, everyone. This could be your ball game. Washington does still have all 3 of their timeouts. On 4th and 9 as Campbell sits back pretty in the pocket and delivers another first down to keep Washington's hope alive. Next play, Campbell can't get everything he wants in on this throw and it falls into the dirt. 2nd down, Campbell finds Cooley as he stopped just short of the first. And on 3rd down, Campbell delivers one to the end zone, but it looks like it's dropped by Washington in and out of the hands of the receiver. And now we are right back into a 4th down situation. 4th down now as Campbell drops back and has to get it off quickly from the pressure off the edge, and it falls incomplete. Turnover on downs, and what a stand by this Rams defense who nearly blew this one. Redskins do still have all 3 of their timeouts, but if our offense gets at least 1 first down, this game is over. 1st and 13 though, thanks to an offsides penalty on the first play, and we have our backs to the wall. But it's the Scarlet Knight, Brian Leonard, who rumbles and stumbles his way for a first down and sealing this ball game for the Rams. I tried to kneel out the rest of this game, but on 4th down, the game gave us some bullshit defining moment thing as they wanted us to go for it here. Whatever. I don't trust the CPU just to not hike the ball and let the clock run, so I had to settle for the punt, so we lost approval ratings here. But oh well, punt team did in fact run out the clock. And that is a W for your St. Louis Rams in what turned out to be a very, very close ball game after all. Another solid day out of Bulger. Nothing spectacular, but no turnovers is always good news. Steven Jackson nearly had 100 yards rushing as our run game went for over 150 yards today. And our defense played very bend but don't break all game today. No real wow plays or anything. Nearly gave up the game-winning touchdown late. But hey, they were able to hold on, and we move on to 4-1 on the season. But the injury news continues to pile on as Terrell Suggs will miss 5 to 6 weeks with a hip injury. Which means if any calls come in on Leonard Little for trades, we might have to hold on to him. Unless the offer is too good to refuse, of course. But right now, he is going to have to step in with Suggs on the sideline. But that is going to wrap up this episode, everyone. An episode where we got to see the debut of Colt Brennan against the Seattle Seahawks, while also getting this Rams team to now 4-1 early in this season. But this is when the schedule gets really tough, as the Dallas Cowboys are up next, followed by the New England Patriots, 2 of the best teams in the league right now. That is going to be a big test to really see where this Rams team stands. But that'll do it for this one, everyone. Thanks for checking this one out. Take care.